So this week I started my period 2 weeks early.
Wow.
I've never done that in my whole life. Never
I've
once.
never done that.
No, seriously, like my period is like so regular, it's insane. Like it's like 28 days on the dot every single time. It's never fluctuated. Even when I got off of birth control, there was never a like, oh, it's kind of random and weird. It's like been consistent my whole life. And this week I woke up on Saturday and I was like, I thought I like peed myself in my sleep. And
I would, yeah,
because it was like, it's like I was like, oh, if my period was 2 weeks ago, like there's no way. And then I went into the bathroom and I was like, what the fuck? Like I started my period early. And then I was like talking to my roommate about it and I was like, yeah, it's just so weird. Like I feel like I should go to the gynecologist because like, I don't know, it's not normal for me. She's like, well, are you stressed out? And I was like, I mean, I don't think so. And then she was like listing all these things that I had been like talking about or like complaining about. And I was like, oh my God, I guess I am like really stressed the fuck out, like crazy stressed out. But like my brain has not allowed me to like realize that, but my body is like shutting the fuck down. Like my skin has been insane. My hair has been falling out like crazy. I started my period 2 weeks early and I was like, that is what they mean by high functioning anxiety. Because I always thought that was like a bullshit term. I was like, okay, whatever that means. And then I was like, no, that's real. And this is what they mean by that.
I'm going to say it. Have sex with a Scorpio.
I could glute bridge your dad. I'm naked. Hold on.
We will be flicking the beans to that.
But she's tatted and I take meth. Is somebody in your house right now?
But you know what? Fuck your ass.
Yeah, I had sex last night.
You can make your own money. You can literally have your own job of your dreams. You can own your own house. You can own your own car. You can pay all your fucking own bills. So what is that man? That man is sex and a best friend and that's it.
I heard nothing but the truth.
Yeah, I mean, so the hard thing for me about that is like my period is so random and so inconsistent all the time that like it could any day I could she's just here. I don't know why. That's just how it's been ever since I've been off birth control. So like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I would definitely say it probably is worse when I have anxiety. But I also understand what you're saying though, because it's like I'm at that point now with my anxiety that like I just keep like it's just like a cycle of life. Like I just keep going.
Yeah.
I'm just floating there. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, crumbling down on me.
Yeah, well that's literally like, it's not that like, it's so hard because anxiety for me is something that's always been constant in my life because like I'm just a naturally anxious person. But this is more like stress. And so I feel like it's like the stress is causing my body to like break down. And I'm like finally like putting 2 and 2 together because like literally for the past like month I cry at everything and I'm like a crier by nature, but it's gotten to the point where it's like weird shit is making me cry. Like things that like should not make me cry have been making me cry. Like literally even thinking about certain people makes me cry now. And like just the most random things. And I was like, that's so weird. But like I was like, I credit it to maybe I'm becoming like my dad because he cries at everything. I was like, so I mean, it's probably just part of getting older. And then I've like noticed that my hair is like falling out like a lot. But to that I was like, it's probably just because I'm like working out more and like changing my diet. And then my acne was like really bad. And then I was like, it's probably just because like, so I was like making up excuses for all of it. And my roommate's like, I think you're just really stressed out and like your body's like reacting to it, but like you're not letting your brain. And I was like, oh, that does make sense.
That's
like
a concept.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that one.
But I was just like, it's so crazy how our bodies like tell us to slow the fuck down and to like figure your shit out. But like your brain is still like, no, you're good. Keep going. Nothing's going wrong. Everything's fine.
I feel that though, because I feel like that's like when I get like when I'm like the sickest is when it's like, especially like just in my example of my own life of just like working like 4 60-hour weeks in a row and just not sleeping and then also not eating properly and all the things. And then like I get sicker than I feel like I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like that's just how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Your body's you thought.
Yeah.
Probably don't.
Yeah, no, literally. And so I was just it's just been a crazy past couple of weeks, and I'm finally realizing that it's mental health related.
No, it's actually interesting too that you're bringing this up, because we haven't talked about this at all, but I kind of ghosted my therapist for a hot minute in my life, probably about 2 to 3 months, and I was seeing her every other week consistently for a while, which was good, and I feel it helps keep me on track and be better and whatever. I think it just gives me accountability.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know why, but because not that everyone I think has that in therapy, but I feel when you go and see your therapist consistently, you just feel you got structure, you feel better, mentally, all the things. And I've been ghosting her for a minute, and then I texted her probably a month ago, was hey, I should probably see you again.
Yeah.
And she was okay, but I had new insurance, this whole thing changed, right? And I couldn't. Her practice's rules is either you pay the bill at the time of the service, or you at least have insurance, right? So it can whatever. So I was okay, well, I had new insurance, so she's let's have that updated first, just because it's the policy of the practice and whatever. And I was all right. So I had to wait for that all that to come in. So it kind of just derailed everything. And then she texted me at Sunday at 6:30 p.m. And was hey,
yeah,
what are you doing? Haven't heard from you. You updated your insurance.
Yeah.
You did all the things. Where have you been? And I was I when finger guns are just
literally, because if I go, then it makes it real, then I have to do the work again.
Right. And so then I didn't answer, because I just left her. The thing when I'm at work that I'm doing now is if it's not something that has to be answered in that moment, I just don't open the message, because I will forget to respond later. Because the problem is I live on a different time frame than a lot of other people. So it's even though you sent it at a normal hour, and then you went to bed and woke up, by the time you wake up and I didn't respond, it's because I was at work, and then went to bed, and I'm going to respond at 1 p.m. And it's not on purpose. It's just that I genuinely will forget, and then I won't act upon it the next day. So that's what been my thing, is it might sound mean, but at the same time, at least I'm going to respond. That's been my thing. So I didn't respond to her for a while. And then I was fuck, I should really do this. So I'm going to go back to therapy tomorrow.
Hey.
And I feel that kind of it's funny that you went the whole side of that, because I don't know, it's definitely just, it's not that time of year.
Yeah.
I feel where it's just the slump kind of hits. It's not cold, but it's not warm.
Yeah.
It's a weird time of year. Nothing really to do. Although concert season starts to pick up right now, I guess. That's the fun thing.
Yeah, I just I in my life right now, there's a lot of things happening that I don't have control over, and it's not that I'm a person that needs to be in control, because I'm very good about just giving the reins to other people when it comes to things like that. But these things that are happening in my life are nobody has control over them, and it's just happening, and in my head I'm well, if I think about it too much, it makes it really real, and it will stress me out more. So I'm not allowing myself to feel the things that I need to feel until my body literally has been shutting down. And then it took me realizing that, and then it hit me a fucking ton of bricks of the reality of everything coming right in front of my face, and I was I just had a breakdown.
Well, you also had a whole you just moved and you did other things, those are stressful things, regardless. And now you're in a new environment, and you went from living alone for years to now living with a person again, and even those are just day-to-day stressors that you haven't had to think about in years.
Yeah, but it was so funny because my roommate, we were just talking, and I was venting, and I just started crying, but it was one of those cries where it was a single tear just dripped down my cheek, and I was oh God, here we go. And I'm the thing about me is and I've talked to my therapist about this, is I don't like crying in front of people at all. It makes me, I have this weird guilt about crying in front of people, and I think it's because, and no offense to my dad, I got cried to so much my whole life, and I feel very uncomfortable when people cry to me. So I don't like to cry in front of other people, because in my head it's uncomfortable for them because that's what I associate with that emotion. And so I rarely will ever cry in front of people. And if I do, it's because like something either really bad has happened or I'm like this moment where it's like, it was so much pent up shit and it just came out. And once the floodgates opened, I like couldn't stop. And it was very like, sorry, you can walk away. Like, you don't have to like sit here. Like, I feel very uncomfortable. But anyways, and then my roommate was like, honestly, it was kind of nice seeing you cry to like realize like you have those emotions. And I was like, I'm such a crier, but I'm such a private crier. So I get that, where it seems like I'm always just like chill, nonchalant, whatever. But it's like, when I cried in front of her, I was like, oh God.
See, I feel
because then I feel cringe. I'm like, oh, sorry about that. Like, let's pretend that didn't happen.
See, like, I don't know, recently, and this is how I also know that I need to go back and see my therapist, is that I haven't been able to cry. I want to. I want to so bad. Like, and I know that just a good deep cry is going to like cure every problem inside of me.
Let me tell you, I've had about 40 big, pure, deep cries recently, and it's not helping anything. Like, so it's really like it's.
I just feel like I need to feel a different emotion right now, is what I feel like I need to feel. But I watched on Netflix One Day. Have you watched it yet?
Is it new?
Yeah.
Then no, I don't.
Okay, it's like, it's also really good. I highly recommend anybody who, like, I should have cried. I should have cried a lot at it, and I did cry a little bit. I had a little bit of a tear, but like not enough for like in my brain, it was like I started to cry a little bit, and I was like, good, like I'm gonna actually cry right now. Didn't. But every person that's watched it has like bawled their eyes out for like a while. So maybe it's not good for you right now. But
yeah. Well, the thing is, like when I tell you everything makes me cry, I was watching a Cody Co video, and he was making a joke, and I started crying. And I was like, why am I crying? But it was like, it's like, I can't explain it. And I've been getting like, this is so fucking embarrassing to say, but like, I'm very like sensitive to music. And I always have been. Like, music makes me feel like so many emotions. And it's probably because I was a dancer. So I was bred to like really listen deeply to like lyrics or like the way like things are scored or whatever. Like, I'm just like, that's my brain. Literally, I've been like getting like full body chills and like overcome with emotion listening to the most like I listened to a fucking NSYNC song. I was bawling. It is not that serious at all, and there's nothing spectacular. It was nothing special. Like, the lyrics were not even like oh my God, this is profound. I've never like, it was literally not even that. And I'm like, something is wrong, and I need to go to. At first, I was like, I have a hormone issue. I need to go to my gynecologist and like get all, because I haven't been to the gyno in years, so I was like accrediting it to that. And then I was like, oh no, it's definitely like a mental health thing. I don't think it's my hormones.
Mental health is definitely suffering. In the moment.
Yeah. But it was just so funny because I was like, I've always been a crier, but it's gotten to the point where it's like, it's just bad. Like, every day I'm crying like multiple times a day. And that's not normal for me at all. And it's like, also I've been having crazy nightmares that are like waking me up in the middle of the night, like shooting my body out of bed. What I'm going to
say right now is I'm happy that you haven't been having sex. Because I feel like in my brain I'd be like, oh fuck, she's pregnant.
Oh no. Yeah. No, it's been like.
That's very like not a thing. Yeah, which is good.
And the other day, like, I woke up when my alarm went off, and I was going to like go to the gym, but then I had this like, it wasn't a vision, but it was like a premonition of sorts that I was going to die in a car wreck. So I couldn't get in my car and go to the gym. Like, it's like shit like that I'm like thinking about. And I started seeing like black blurbs in my vision the other night towards the end of the day. And then when I was Googling it, it was like when you're like constantly stressed out or like in a state of anxiety, you're probably not sleeping great. And so like that can lead to like visual and auditory hallucinations. So I was like, this is awesome. But yeah, I'm like slowly breaking, like very, very casually though, because in my brain I'm like,
very graceful.
I'm cool. Like, whatever, like just doing the same shit I always do.
Just I think that's the hard part. That's kind of how I feel right now. I'm definitely like, it feels very avoidant. Like, I feel like I'm very avoidant to the feelings or like what's happening around me.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm just like here on a blob and I'm just like looking around.
Yeah.
Just, I'm going to go to work now.
Just going through the motions.
I'm going to go to sleep now.
Yeah.
I guess I should eat now. Like, that's how I feel. Like, it's just very like, whoever's playing my fucking Sims game.
Yeah.
Give me something new. Rattle it up.
Yeah. Mine is like, I don't know. It's been bad. And it hasn't been bad for a long time. So I'm just like, I think that's another reason why I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Because I was just like.
And it probably is coming out in different ways than you've ever noticed before, too. Because it's like, you're in a very different stage in your life than when you probably, not that it hasn't been recent or anything like that, but like, it's just a very different stage and you're more mature and you're different, you know. So it's just like, it's probably harder to notice.
It was just so funny, though, because this past weekend. Me and my roommate, like, we didn't do a single thing the whole weekend.
Good.
And it was like good, but at the same time, by Sunday afternoon, I was like awkwardly pacing around because I was like, I feel not guilty, but I was almost like antsy. I was like, okay, I need to do something. Like, and it's not that I just sat around and did nothing, but it was like I didn't contribute to society. So I just like played Animal Crossing, or I painted, or I like watched TV, or like did all these like things that like don't matter. And so in my head I was like, okay, no, you got to go do something. But then I was also like this is probably good considering like the state of your fucking body and mind right now. Like, it's probably needed.
Well, yeah, but also like I feel bad like this past week of just being so sick, and like if I wasn't at work because I couldn't fucking get off of work, like if I wasn't there, I was asleep. And I was asleep until I literally had to get ready to go back to work. And I'd come home and I would take NyQuil and just pass the fuck out until I had to wake up again. And like that was just like my past 7 days of my life. But like, and I felt so guilty because I have like so many little projects in my house that I want to do and get done and like all these things. And a part of me like wanted to have a meltdown, but like couldn't cry.
That's like so frustrating.
It's a little weird thing that I'm in right now. Is I can't just cry.
Yeah.
And I want to because I feel like it just helps.
Have you ever been through that before? Like the not being able to cry thing?
Honestly, no. Normally it comes very easy to me.
Weird.
Like, and I've been in times too where it's like, and that's how I know I'm being avoidant, because anytime I kind of am not letting myself feel something, or like I'm trying to avoid something in my life, haven't put my finger on it yet. And that's the reason for me going back to therapy, because like I know that I'm avoiding something, and I don't like. I know, like, in every area in my life right now, I'm like lacking, but like, what's the part? That's where I'm like, kind of what's like, where's it stemming from? Because it's coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I need to like address it. But like, I don't know, the whole not being able to cry thing, but I like am in my house. I'm like, I need to do laundry, but like, can't. If I like went to literally go make a other day, I went and got an Uncrustable because I'm not cooking anything. I'm sick. So I got an Uncrustable, ate it, and like that wiped me out. And I slept for 4 hours.
Yeah.
After I just woke up. And so like it was just like I wanted to do like paint and finish this and build this and clean up here so I can like actually put my desk and do like all the things, but like I just like physically couldn't.
Yeah.
And that made me so upset.
It's so frustrating.
But I couldn't cry.
Yeah.
And I couldn't like get an actual emotion out. And like it's just kind of the same, like not like exactly the same, but like to the point where it's like I'm supposed to be sleeping and I'm supposed to be resting. I'm supposed to let my body just like chill and like not enjoying a moment, because I'm not enjoying anything. I'm sick and sleeping, but like just being is sometimes okay. And I think that we forget that because we're very active, like very high. I won't say we're high strung, but like I always have to be doing something. And if I don't see a task being completed, I feel like I did nothing for the day.
Yeah.
So like just sitting there, and even though that's what I needed, and like just like you having a weekend to just chill and do things that you enjoy and like whatever, it's like in my brain doesn't compute to you were successful and you did well.
Yeah, in my brain I'm like, you're lazy.
Yes.
Like, you lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know, you could be doing something for the world, or like doing something to make yourself a better person.
I'm like, tough it out and go finish a project, bitch. Yeah. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. No, actually I like have you ever seen those like paintings that people do on like glass, and it's like you paint the whole thing backwards basically, and then you see it on the other side.
The window, it's like, right?
Well, I'm talking like it's like a piece of glass and like you use it as like in a frame. Like you like frame it.
So you do it backwards.
Yeah, so like you paint the whole thing backwards and you have to paint like the stuff that's going to be on the front part of the glass first. So it's like a reverse of normal painting, where it's like normal painting, you paint the back and then you finish with the stuff in the front. I tried that this weekend with like, I had this like extra frame and I was like, oh, I'll just like use this like picture frame and like I'll paint the glass on this, like whatever, who cares. And I have so much acrylic paint because I go through waves with fucking art and shit, and so I just have a bunch. And I spent like 4.5 hours on this thing. I flipped it around. Number one, it looked like a 4-year-old did it. It was so bad, and I'm like pretty good at art, so I was like, what the fuck? Number two, I guess I didn't realize as I was doing it, but every time I would paint another layer, it was peeling off the layer underneath. So when I flipped it over, it was just blobs of like random.
I think you have to like let that shit dry every single time you do something.
It had dried, and so that's why I was so confused. But I think it was just the type of paint I was using, which just wasn't
with the material.
Yeah, it's like I didn't do enough research clearly, but it was one of the most like funny things because I was like, I was like, this is gonna be good because like I can do something. It's very low key. Like I'll watch my show, and so like me and my roommate like watched Avatar: The Last Airbender like in college. That was like our show that we watched our senior year because they'd added it on Netflix and we grew up watching it. So we're like, oh, we'll watch it again. And then this week, or I guess last week technically, the like live action show that they made came out, and so we watched it. And then I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch the cartoons as I'm like doing this. So I was like, wow, this is so great, nostalgic, and so fun, and this painting I'm doing is like so cute. And I was like, this is so gonna be so awesome. And I flipped it around. I was like, actually like so dumbfounded of how terrible it was. And then I was like, I just wasted 4 hours in all this fucking art supplies on this shit. And I literally took it and I threw it in the garbage. My roommate was like, what you working on? And I was like, it's just trash. I threw it away. Like, it's gone.
I can't have you see it and no one else.
No, because literally I was like, this was so bad, and it was like embarrassing, but also like I wasn't even upset about it. Like kind of where you're like, I'm just kind of like, like I did that, and I was like, normally I would be like pissed because I'm like, I just wasted all the fucking time. Yeah. And I just was like, I don't even care. Like I just cleaned it up and I had like it never happened.
Yes, it didn't. It didn't. Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. Avoid it. Yeah. Like,
yeah. I did start playing the guitar again because I haven't done that since I moved, and I started playing the guitar again because I like every day, and when I'm in my office I look at it and I'm like, okay, I need to do this thing solely on the fact that I spent money on it. And I was like, no, you got to get at least decent, because you can't have a guitar and then somebody's like, oh, you play? And it's like, I know chords. Like you can't, like, you know what I mean? Like I can't be that person. Or it's like every chord change I'm like, okay, then I lift my finger, gonna move it, all right, boom. Like it's just like I need to get at least
no matter
campfire sing
no matter who
songy.
asked, just say you're learning.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I'm learning.
Yeah.
You can put I'm learning.
Yeah. I'm still in module or the second. I've passed the first beginner course. It's like, I don't know, like probably 12 total hours of online courses, and I'm on beginner 2 now, and by Justin Guitars on YouTube, because he has like all of his beginner courses are free on his website, and they're fucking amazing. And what's cool is he's like reteaching himself through the series, but on his left hand. So he's like not just like, oh, I'm this like awesome guitar player. So like he really breaks it down because he's like realizing like certain things are very awkward that he forgot was awkward learning because he's like doing it on his non-dominant hand now. And so he's an awesome guitar teacher, but also it's like, since it's on YouTube, it's so easy for me to just be like, and just like it's not like classes.
Like, that suggested shit. Oh, that's underneath it. I've been looking
exactly.
at it.
I'm like, oh, new Danny video, cool. Like, bye, Justin. Like, put that shit on.
All right, Justin, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
all
literally.
right, Justin, I don't care about your guitar.
Yeah, but so I started doing that again this weekend as well. So I'm like trying to do things that like make me happy, that I can like have like an outlet for again, because there was like a period of time where it was like I just wasn't doing any of that. And the only time when I was like not doing anything, I was just like watching YouTube or TV.
Yeah.
Instead of like
like filling the time with something.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I don't know, but I feel like the hard thing is like I want to fill my time with other things, and then I also want time to rest.
Yeah.
And I feel like right now I don't have a happy medium of either. Like I'm either doing way too much or I'm doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like legit, and there's no in between.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I guess like going to the gym is still like I do it on either spectrum. So I guess that's like something.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
I think what I'm realizing too is like, and it helps having a roommate now. It's like, it really does help when you're like around other people. And like when I lived alone, I would easily go like weeks without seeing people. I mean, besides like you and I, it would be like on Tuesday or whatever. But like other than that, it would be like the people at my work, and then I just like would never do anything with anybody. And so that's definitely helping a lot too. Just like hanging out with people and like doing stuff like on the weekends that isn't just like being by myself and like doing nothing. So I don't know, little things like that where it's like I always tell myself that shit it's not that serious and like whatever, but I'm like, no, it really does help. Like being around people and like talking to people and like whatever.
I know, that's why like that's the hard part about me with my job is that like it stimulates me so much because of that. Like,
yeah,
I mean, there's like a ton of regulars and stuff like that too, but like always like just talking to new people and like having different conversation and like whatever. And it just being like very active helps a lot, but I mean, it drains me socially.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it also fulfills me. So it's like a weird, like, that's like, I think that's also like a huge stimulant for me and like my, like I have talked about it, I think on here recently too, but like for my like mental health right now is that like, what am I doing in my life? That's how I feel. Is like very like, what am I doing? What do I want to accomplish? Who do I want to be? Like I've been having like a lot of those talks with myself, which are good. But to me, that sparks anxiety.
Yeah.
Because like then I'm not doing enough, or I'm doing too much, or I'm not doing enough of the right thing, or like how do I start this, or how do I not?
Yeah.
Like, is that the right path, or should I like I don't know. It's just like a lot of like weirdness in my brain.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's if I think about it, I think that's what's stemming it, but I don't know.
Yeah. That's what you pay your therapist to tell you.
Yeah, and
It's
she's
like,
about to get a hefty paycheck.
dude, it's so expensive.
I
Honestly,
know.
that's why I haven't gone to therapy in a really long time.
I know. Just dropping $100
Yeah.
for me to gossip
Literally
with
to
Jenny.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I feel like I'm just gossiping with my friend when I talk to her because I'm like, and you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's good because that means that you have like a therapist that you're like comfortable around.
oh no, I love her so much, and I like wouldn't be able to I think go to another one at this point in my life because like, she's like very relatable. But yeah, like I just feel like she's my best friend. And I'm like, but you pay her to like you.
That's like my therapist is like kind of a dickhead, but like I need that.
No, there's like she tells me straight up, and like she like guides me there. But like the approach when it's like normal is just like friend vibe, and I love it.
Yeah, my therapist is like a bit too brutally honest with me because like, I mean, I think anybody in my life probably could assume that like to avoid talking about things, I like make a joke about it or like I start steering the conversation in like a comical way or like satirical where it's like whatever. And my therapist literally will be like, this isn't a fucking comedy routine. Like get to the point. Like, and I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because like I'm so bad about that because I'm like it must be a show. I must entertain you. I must do this.
Our problem is I talk to her like I talk to my fucking mom, and she'll be like, oh no, what happened next? Wait, what happened here? And she like knows everyone in my life, so she's like, well, how does so and so feel? And I'm like, oh my god. So when I talk to them about it, blah blah blah, and like it just like goes on a whole thing. I'm like, okay, wait, we got away from this, and then she like asks me other questions, and it just feels like we're just gossiping.
Yeah.
But my life is the bit.
Yeah.
I
try to make my life the bit, and my therapist is not entertained. She's like, okay, yeah, I've heard this shtick a million times. Like, let's get to the how do we fix it? Like, and I'm like, oh yeah, that part of the conversation.
No, I definitely think that Jenny's good about just like knowing when to stop me and being like, okay,
yeah,
shut up, you're wrong, no, whatever. And then not that she ever tells me that I'm wrong because she legally can't, but she's also good about just letting, like if I'm being dramatic or something and she knows that I just need to like talk it out, like at this point she knows like the difference between like this is serious or like you just need to talk about it to get it off your chest and then you can move on type thing. So like I don't know. That's why I don't think I could ever change my therapist. And also the fact that she just texts me and is like, hey,
yeah,
where you been? I'm like,
yeah. My issue is I approach therapy like it's a stand-up routine, and I am like, I do a very like theatrical performance of my life instead of actually talking about it, because if I actually talk about it, then I'll like cry and get emotional, and I don't want to do that. So I try to like act like it's funny, this funny story, and my therapist is just kind of, I think she just knows me too well to be like, okay, this isn't fucking the Late Show, like you don't need to be doing all this, like let's get to the point.
yeah, there's different approaches.
Yeah,
To me, it's just we're talking.
Yeah.
I'm paying you to be my friend.
yeah.
So listen up.
I've had therapists like that before, and it's really fun, but I definitely work better with my type of therapist that I have currently, because I've realized that like I am bad at having the hard conversations, so I need somebody who's like a bit harder on me than my other people, because if not, then I do the whole people pleasing thing where I'm like, yeah, okay, that's a good idea, and then I never do it.
Yeah.
So I need like, my girl's great because she's like kind of calls me out of my shit from the jump. Like that's why, and also, but that's why I also have like not made an appointment, because I'm like, it feels like boot camp.
I know, but honestly, you kind of have to.
I know.
Because it's what, unfortunately, you need.
I know, but I need to wait until March the 1st when I get paid again, and then we can't. I have like a couple other random fucking things. But one thing that I wanted to talk about is like the whole like color analysis thing. I don't know if you've seen that on social media, but it's like people go into those places and they get told like what their like color palette is, and like how to like dress.
So like their colors, like different reds and different,
Yeah. Okay, so I saw this TikTok of this girl, and she was like talking about how she's wanted to do that, but she's like, I don't want to go pay somebody to do this. So she went into ChatGPT and like used AI to tell her like what her colors are through like taking a photo of herself and then using like the tool in like Apple Photos where you can like use the eyedropper to figure out like colors when you go edit a photo. And so she like found the colors of her skin, eyes, and hair, and then like put it into ChatGPT, and she's like, tell me my like color analysis based off of, or in terms of like winter, spring, summer, autumn, based off of if this is my skin color, this is my hair color, this is my eye color, and like it like spits it back out to you. And I did that, and I figured mine out, and then I went in my closet and I realized I don't have any. And I was like, wow, this makes sense why like certain like colors I like really feel bomb in, and then other ones that like I really like those colors, so I buy them and I put them on, and I'm just like, it's just okay.
Yeah.
And so I am a warm autumn is my color. So it's like, and I found this website and it's like so fucking cool, and it shows you like the like different makeup products that are good for like that in terms of like actual like lipstick like numbers and like nail polish numbers and shit. And so like I need to be wearing like coral / like more peachy blush in lip and nails, and then like bronzy eyes and faces and not cool toned stuff, because that's gonna like be less flattering, like blah blah blah. And I was like looking through all the colors, and like the two colors that are not anywhere on my fucking chart that I own 99% of my clothes are black and white. And both of those are not on my thing. And I was like, oh, cool. It's like cream and like grays. It's like what I should be wearing. And the grays are warm toned grays. All the grays I have are cool toned grays. I think I have one warm toned gray shirt, and I never fucking wear it because I don't have anything to match it. And I was just like, wow. Like, it is crazy though, because I do have like a couple of the colors that they were like, yeah, this would eat on you. And I like look back on pictures when I wore stuff in those colors. I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Like, thanks, AI.
That's crazy.
Like,
I kind of want to try this.
You
now.
should. It was really cool to see. And it makes sense. Like, even like going back to like when I had blonde hair and like.
Can I just find, so if we were going to do this for like people also listening, if we go onto TikTok and we do like AI color analysis, do you think that woman's thing would come up?
I think I may have favorited her video, so I can just say which one it is. And so, but all the
like one of those
I think it's that girl
in the green.
Yeah. Oh no. Is it Callie the wellness girly?
No.
Okay, it's Callie the wellness girly, Kali the wellness girly, and she posted this on February 16th. But it says, I used AI to get my color palette analysis and it worked. Yeah, and she helped me out. So now, like, when I go thrifting and stuff, like, I'll know which colors to get, or like, I'm even thinking like my cousin's weddings and like finding dresses. I was like, this is gonna help me so much, like knowing what's actually gonna be like.
No, because I want to do that.
Yes, and
because I feel like I know what I like or what I think is flattering on me, but also like I think that there's definitely more colors that I could incorporate that would just actually look good on me.
Yes,
like,
and even what was so crazy too is like I was looking back on pictures of like when I had blonde hair, and like every time I had blonde or when I would add blonde to my hair, we would always have to go like golden blonde because like now it makes sense. I have like warm tones in my hair naturally, so whenever I would do the cool stuff, it wouldn't last, or it would turn like green and just look awful. And so like that even made sense because it showed examples of like celebrities who have the same kind of thing in like their hair color, and it was always like if it was blonde girl, it was always somebody who clearly wasn't naturally blonde, but they had like yellow/gold blonde hair. And so I was like, dang, like how did I not know this my whole life, that like I obviously should be wearing. And then it makes sense why like gold jewelry looks more flattering on me than silver, but I love silver jewelry, so I'm still gonna wear it. But it was just like, oh my god, that is insane. And I look in my closet and I'm like, I have all cool tone shit and it all looks pretty not great on me. And so I was like, this is going to be so helpful.
But I feel like, yeah, now you can go shop and like start transitioning stuff out that
Yes.
would like, because yeah, it's not like you don't have the color already there, it's just like not the right shade.
Yeah, no, literally it's like the wrong tone of the colors. And so now that I know that, I'm like, okay, now I have like a good starting point. But those videos are so insane, like when they actually go to the real people and they like put the thing,
Oh yeah, no,
and then they pull it and I'm like, oh my god, their eyes look amazing.
No,
Like,
and it's like
so
just
crazy.
like one shade different of red. And I'm like, but how did that person even see that?
Yeah.
Like that, the have an eye for that is crazy.
Yeah. Also like finding that job. That's just like there is jobs for everything.
No, I have said this. When I lived in Europe, I realized that there's a job for everything because people would do like walking tours and that was like their full income.
Yeah, it's like the Segway people here.
Definitely like Europe is very different to America.
Right.
Like pay grade and everything wise. But like,
yeah, but the nicheness of jobs is crazy.
You can do and still make a good living. And I guarantee that there's people out here that do the like most niche little thing and probably make well into six figures.
Oh yeah.
And like,
because probably not a lot of people fucking have a skill for it.
no, but also like
Or
don't
even
think
know about it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
And like you literally could do Segway tours, ghost tours, like
Yeah.
and even if like supplemental income, you can make money doing nearly anything.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to a podcast today and they were talking about like crime scene like janitors who their job is like after the police and everything is processed the scene, like somebody has to clean up the fucking like, not to be graphic, but like blood on the ground or like somebody has to come clean this shit up. And like that is like a whole profession of that.
Yeah.
Janitorial services specifically for like murder scenes is crazy, but it's like it's real.
I mean, they need him.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And like if you just think about too of just like, I'm even like, because recently I've been really into like film and like cinematography and like all of that, and I want to start becoming more educated on all of that because I think one day I would really like to start working on like more creative projects, like just for fun stuff personally, but I'm not educated enough to do it. And so I've just been like learning a lot more about that, and just all the jobs just like on a set for like literally just a music video. It's so insane how many people are necessary to like
you need
do
someone
it properly.
who's extremely educated on every single aspect of it. Not one person. One person has to know everything, which is like the director, obviously.
Yeah.
But like then you need to have every single person be like so in queue
Yeah.
and so knowledgeable in order for it to come together correctly.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's just like even that where it's like you kind of think when people are like, oh, I went to film school, it's like, okay. But it's like even just like into that, it's like so niche. Whereas
Yeah.
I feel like for the business, it's like it's pretty self-explanatory. If you work in accounting, you're gonna do accounting stuff. If you work in marketing, it's a bit more broad, but at the end of the day, like you're still doing essentially the same.
But I still feel like that's like also like the medical field too. Like it's so niche. Like it's insane. Like, and like we just kind of were talking downstairs. Like my sister is a nurse, and like she's done so many different types of nursing that I didn't even know that you needed to have a degree in nursing to do. Like I didn't even think that that was like a thing. And then even like what, again, you and I had this conversation, but like we were talking about that she wants to get into, and like not that you have to be a nurse to be that, but like in order for her to like own her own like practice, essentially. Yeah. Like it's like so like, I don't know, I think it's actually crazy how niche it can all be. Like,
right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You can make money doing anything.
You literally can, and there's a job out there. Like if for any interest that you have, a job exists. Whether it's accessible, they're hiring, or it's like a growing industry, or it pays well, that's a different story. But like there is a job.
Exactly.
Regardless,
I actually
there
saw
is
a thing about like, it was like a little like, I don't want to say like memoir, but it wasn't like an article or anything. It was just kind of like a little blurb, I guess. I don't really know how to like explain what it was that someone like wrote about like happiness in life, and like when it comes to your job, if you're doing something that you simply have an interest in, even like 40% of the time, you are more likely to be extremely happy in your career and like your path than if you just choose something that's just there. Like, and it's easy and accessible. Like, and I think that's so crazy because like, I think that's where everyone's like, oh, well, my side hustle could be XYZ. But really, like, if you put everything into something like that you're just more passionate about, like you would actually be happy every day. And that's like Lily Pulitzer's like whole like part of her like her story was
I don't
like,
know anything about
really
her.
It was actually like a really cool, from what I understand, obviously like there could be very different like understandings or
I honestly
parts or
didn't even know
whatever.
that she was a real person.
No, yeah.
Like
So,
I just figured it was like the name of the brand.
No. Like it was actually started by her, and like the reason that like the colors and the things are done the way it was is like, I guess that she used to, like she was clinically depressed. Like a clinically depressed woman, and like had a lot of mental health issues. And she started like a fruit stand in order for her to like get outside and like just do something, like give her like a purpose, right? And she would wear all white clothing, and when she would make like different juices and stuff, the citrus would get on her like in marks,
like a painter almost.
Right? But that's why like all of her clothing has like paints and like very like vibrant, and they're just kind of like random like throughout a shirt or whatever. Because of like the citrus, like it all comes back to that. And when she started doing Lily Pulitzer like actually as like a brand, and started like doing all of that as like a company actually instead of just a fruit stand, I'm not telling the story exactly amazing, I'm not gonna lie, but you're kind of like get the gist. She literally was like, the day I wake up and don't want to do this anymore, I just won't. And that's what she did. The day that she woke up and was like, this isn't fun for me anymore, she sold her company like that day.
Dang.
And like, I mean, that's also boss ass bitch. Like you had enough money that it didn't matter. But like, that's kind of like a similar thing. And I've kind of always thought that, like, after hearing that, I'm like, that's so true. Like if you wake up and you're like, a little extreme to do it one day, but like if you wake up a lot and you're like thinking about it and it's something there, like there's something to be said about that. And even vice versa of like, that you've either had a dream or something that you want to do, or your interest that you constantly are thinking about, like it's also like could be valuable to turn it into something that's a career. Like it's both sided. I don't know, I always thought that her story was cool.
No, that is really cool. I had no idea because like I don't know anything about like, I feel like I don't know a ton about like fashion like designer stories really.
See, I think that's the most interesting part to me. Is like knowing people's stories and like why they got there. Even for like music, which is why like, not that it's weird about like, I guess the music that I enjoy listening to, but I guess it's not as like normalized. It is now, I guess, more so than anything. But like, just because like bands or artists are like things behind on how they got to where they are is like what I enjoy. And then that kind of just makes me in like a very weird like folk music, like but like I like certain people because of like their story, not because like they're necessarily the best folk artists. Like I just think that they're like story and then who they are as a person is so much cooler.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I feel like I find all that stuff out though after I like their music.
Yeah.
So like I would say that I'm opposite of you on that, where it's like I'll find a song or whatever and I'm like, oh, this is like good, and then I like go deep dive into like them, and like that was me with fucking like In Sync like 3 weeks ago. I like, dude, I went like fucking I went like deep cuts, like unseen footage from like 1994 like tour where they were like on this trip and somehow somebody had a camera, like it was like that type of like obsessive weirdness. And then now I'm like, I still really like the music, but I'm kind of just like, okay, the serotonin's not pumping much longer. We got to move on to the next thing.
Right.
And so now I'm back on my Panic at the Disco kick.
Right, but that happens.
Yeah.
You're going to come back to NSYNC eventually.
I will.
Worry.
Well, I did today because I actually, this was another point that I wanted to make, because you know how some people like can't like imagine things in physical form, or like they can't see it in their head. So I was thinking today, because I was listening to Celebrity, that album by NSYNC, and I was like having like a little dance party before I went to the gym to just like
get ready.
Let me get excited for this. And then in my head I was like, I will hear a song and like have like a fucking whole ass like music video concept in my head, and then I'm like thinking about like all the intricacies of like, okay, how would we do the lighting and da 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 da, thinking about all that. And I'm like, do you ever do that? Like, do you ever hear a song and you're like, this is it, I know exactly how I would film a music video for this, and like what it would be like, and like,
yeah, I think so, but only if I knew that it was inspired by something else. Like it wouldn't be, I don't think like original. Like it would be, I guess technically, because it would be there for that song, but like it would have been something that I already saw from like this and this and this and this and like put it together.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have been like a original like bare bones type
yeah
thing.
There's like certain songs that I hear, it's definitely not every song, but like there'll be like certain songs I'm like, boom, I know it. Like if you gave me the fucking like, what's that thing called,
Mark, that one,
Action,
yeah,
why can't I not think of it? I fucking use those at work all the time. Okay, I can't think of it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's like action, and you like write the take on it and the scene and like blah blah blah. So like when you're editing, you know what it is. Why can I not think? Anyways, I'm like, give me one of those and like I can direct this shit right now. And like today I had one of those moments with a song from that album, and I was like, in my head I was like, this would eat at the Grammys, like they would slay this. And then I'm like, these men are like in their 50s now, this would not eat at the Grammys. Like we would need like the BTS cover of it, or like this is like some like new boy band's cover of it. But anyways, I was like, I have always been like that though with like music, and like my dramatic ass like in the car, like if I'm listening to like a sad song on a road trip, it's like looking out the window and I'm like pretending there's a camera there,
there's like rain and you're just like,
yeah,
it's like dark gloomy day,
I'm like,
just like looking out there like
so delusional. Do you ever drive in your car and you're like, what if somebody's looking at me right now, like I should, and like you start mewing and you're like, and like you try to like fix your hair and like look pretty? No. I do that often.
No, because unfortunately every time I'm in my car I'm like, oh fuck, I'm late as fuck, and I'm like, no music, don't even put music on, because I didn't even have time.
It's like some serial killer shit.
I honestly,
even if I'm late, I gotta have music on.
I drive probably 90% of the time with no music on.
That's so crazy.
Like none. And honestly, if I'm gonna be completely real, if it comes on, it's because my Spotify was already like on. Mm-hmm. Like I came out of the gym and I just turned my headphones off, and then I got into my car and it automatically just like starts playing. That's probably it.
And so you're listening to like gym music?
Yep.
Oh God, I couldn't do that.
See, and that's funny because like I'm very like, I enjoy music, and I think that music definitely has like a purpose and stuff like that, but like it doesn't, or I'm not as interested in it as like a lot of people, where like like I know that you and like my sister and her husband, and then also I guess Earring, because we still don't have a different name for him, like it's so curated to like the time and the moment and whatever, but like I can literally just put a playlist on and not care. Like I don't even hear it, think about it. Like it's just on.
That's so funny, because like for me, I'm like, it's damn near all day I have music playing, and like it's like so curated to the fact where it's like if I'm getting in the shower and it's been a long day, like I have like this certain like classical playlist that I've created, or if I'm cooking dinner and it's like it's something that is kind of like nostalgic for me or whatever, I'll put on like Frank Sinatra. Like it's like I always have music playing and like setting the vibe, and like I can't listen to music that doesn't match the vibe, or I cannot do the thing that I need to do.
See,
that would drive me insane.
No, I'm just kind of in silence, honestly, because like I enjoy better. But it's funny because like even at work, like if we're playing music and like he'll he's playing music because I'm not about to play. If I put it on, like whatever.
You're like, today's hits play.
Yeah, whatever rocks is what we are rocking to, baby. Yeah. Like I'm not paying attention. I'm not thinking about it. And like the couple of times like I have put music on just to like change it off of like restaurant vibe music because it's like later at night. Like I honestly forget 2 songs in that I'm playing music. And that
you're like, ew, who's playing this? It literally sucks. And you're like, oh wait, I'm playing.
Literally, like no, I'm not even kidding you. The other day, I was sitting at the bar because I was done with work. It was like other day, like 2-3 weeks ago. I was sitting at the bar because I was done with work, but I already had my phone connected because I was like playing during the day. And then he came over and he was like, I'm going to like pull my eyeballs out. You either need to change the music or I'm like, just take my phone. Yeah. Because truly, I forgot about it. Yeah. Like I genuinely, forgot. I'm sorry. I don't know. And like, even when we go to the gym, like he will, like he's like one song inspires another song, or like I'm in a vibe or like in a certain mood, so like the songs inspire each other, or like I can't just like put a playlist on and like
no, that's how good. I'm the same
and
way.
I am just like, oh really, because I just put on greatest hits from 2010 and just started walking.
Oh god, no,
like, I don't care.
I cannot do that. It's like also it's like if I start playing like a certain like playlist that I've made and it's not doing it for me, I can't do, like, especially at the gym, I cannot get back into my workout until I find the right vibe, or it's going to be a shit workout. Like every time.
The funniest thing to me is that like when I like first kind of started like talking to him and like whatever, I like knew that like you two with like music, like your music styles are very like similar too. But I was like, that's hilarious because like that's exactly how Emily is. Yeah. Like I already, like it's like a thing, but like to me, I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't know. I just throw it on. Like it's just there for noise, if I'm being honest. Like we're like, which is why honestly, I think I like enjoy podcasts and stuff, but and I put this together since him because he loves movies. He's obsessed with movies. He's obsessed with going to the movies. And I can't.
Well, it sounds like we would be besties. No offense to you, but it sounds like I got more in common with your boyfriend.
Like okay, I'm saying that those are like 2 things, but like I know that you two would have in common, right? Yeah. And I've just realized, because he was like, why don't you like movies? And I was like, it's not like you can't put it on, like I'll be here, but like I simply just won't pay attention, and I'll pay attention more if it's just noise in the background than if it's just like if I have to sit there and pay attention, right? So I was like, that's the reason I can't watch with Emily, because it'll piss Emily off if I'm on my phone. So like it's just better that we avoid. And he's like, well, I don't really care. He's as long as like you're with me and like sitting with me, I don't care what you do. And I'm like,
you don't care until it's a movie that you're really fucking, that you care about, and then you care. Because that's how I am too with people. I'm like, I don't care if you don't pay attention, but if it's like I'm trying to put you on because I'm like, this is the greatest thing cinema has ever come up with, and you're over here playing Candy Crush, I'm gonna kill myself.
See, he did that. Like, he wanted me to watch this one movie the other day, and now I could ask him, and it was cool. The vibe was cool. Like, he's obsessed.
No, I feel so bad for him because I know that feeling. And when you're like, you're so excited, and then somebody's like, yeah, it was good. And you're like, that's it? It was good?
No, but like also, yeah, I just listen. He was really excited to show it to me. It was a cool movie. If I'm being honest, I didn't understand it.
What movie was it?
That's what I need to ask him. Hold on.
What was the premise?
A dude on a motorcycle. He got this girl pregnant, and then, but he didn't really know that he had a daughter. He knew that he had a daughter, but he like really couldn't take care of her. And then the woman ends up like being with another guy, and he tries to come back into life to be with the daughter, and like it's like a whole. It was cool. It was good. What's the movie you wanted? We watched together that you love. I feel like that's how I should word it.
Yeah. What's the movie that you wanted me to like, but I didn't really give a fuck about?
Answer
now.
That's
how I felt when I made my parents watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, and my dad was audibly snoring. Like his neck was like back like this. It was like, and I was like cranking the volume up. My mom's just sitting there like she's about to fall asleep as well. And then the movie ends. I'm sitting there like sobbing. It's like the most poetic story about a mother-daughter relationship and like the struggles that you go through like as a teenager, and like you both don't really understand each other, but then like you get a bit older and you become friends again, and like it's just the most amazing movie, and it's the most absurd movie too. So it's like, how are you asleep? Like when I saw my dad was asleep, I was like, are we watching the same movie? Because I couldn't go to sleep if I tried.
Like the disrespect.
It was insane. And then my mom, we finished the movie. I love her to death, but it's like, she goes, that was really long and really trippy. And I was like, that's all you had to say?
See, that me and your mom are the same.
And I was like, that's all you had to say? This is like the most critically acclaimed movie we've seen in years. It's won all of these fucking awards, and your words were, it was long and trippy. Like, I could have said that about like a million things, and I would have never said that about that. There. But I think the thing about my parents that I think they want to be movie people so bad, and they watch a lot of movies. I don't think they like movies. And I've realized that with them, the older I've gotten, is every single movie I watch with them, they don't seem like they finish one and enjoyed it. It's like every single time it's kind of like, I don't know, it wasn't very good. Or they're like, yeah, I guess it was okay. And I'm like, I just don't think you like movies. And that's okay, but like, I just don't think you like them.
See, that's why I claim to just not like them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's just, it's better for me to claim it than try to act like
it's okay
I like
to be
them.
like a critic and be like, oh, there's certain things that like I didn't enjoy, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. Valid. That's like, you're right. But like every single movie you watch, you're kind of just like displeased by it. I'm like, I just think the concept of movies you don't enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is like, I don't get it, but I understand that like there's certain strokes for certain folks, and like some people don't like movies.
And I'm one of them.
Yeah, you're like very iPad baby vibes. Like you're like, I like YouTube and whatever, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be this whole next generation of people.
I think it's funny though, because
they're not gonna know what a good movie is.
Well, yeah. So him and his best friend, like they're obsessed with watching movies, and like that's like what.
Does he have a Letterboxd account?
I don't know.
Well, if he does, him and my brother would get along, because that bitch has got the most insane Letterboxd account.
I don't know what that even means.
It's kind of like that anime spreadsheet thing that I do, but it's an app, and it's where you record all the movies that you watch and you rate them, and you can see what other people have rated the movies. So it's like the scores are a bit more, it's way less biased than if you go on like Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm just going to say, knowing him, he doesn't do that. Just because that would be too much work for him.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like, I don't know. I just know that they like him. And I know when he was like, telling his best friend about me. And he was like, you know, the one downside to her that I found already is she doesn't like movies.
Yeah.
And his friend's response was like, they're out there.
Yeah.
Those people are out there.
They walk among us. It is terrifying.
Like that was his response. And I was like,
yeah.
Damn.
I knew you didn't fuck with movies when in the Barbie movie you were on your phone. And I was like, gosh, she really doesn't like movies. Like, because this is like crazy to be on your phone.
I paid attention. I feel like the most I could have ever paid attention in a movie.
Yeah.
And I gave it my best shot to pay attention, the most I could have ever.
Yeah.
So, sue me.
Meanwhile, I think my membership kicks back in at Regal this month. I put it on pause for 90 days, like over Christmas and shit. Cause I'm like, I don't have like, I'm so busy with moving, and like, I don't need to be spending the $75 to do this or whatever. And I think it reactivates on the 1st of March or whatever. And I'm like, new shit needs to be coming out. That's good, because I need to start using that again. And the movie theater from my house is literally 8 minutes away. It is the quickest drive, and it is so easy to get there.
I feel like I want an answer for what this movie is.
You're like, motorcycle gets a girl pregnant.
Yes. And okay, so
who was in it? Do you remember?
Couldn't tell you. I wish I could go through his likes. don't actually, but I know that he was like like some shit,
like fan edits of it or whatever.
Yeah, like because he posts all the time on his story. That's why I was.
Is it a new movie or an old movie?
A newer movie.
Oh.
But basically because of like his daughter and everything, and like he's just not like, he's kind of like, I won't say he's like a thug because it's not like the right word, but like he ends up like with his friend, he goes and he like starts robbing banks in order to like help pay for his daughter.
I feel like I know what you're talking about. Is it Eva Longoria? Is the love interest?
I think so.
I think I know what you're talking about. And the cops come after him, and like the wife has to like pretend like she doesn't know where he is.
Maybe it's not her.
Maybe it wasn't her in that movie.
I'm looking at her. Looks like her though, kinda. Like the girl.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm saying the wrong actress. But I think I know the movie that you're talking about because I think I watched that like a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's not like old. It's like old time vibe.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's the guy from it was like this TV show and he was a detective.
No, the guy who plays it is, this is hilarious. This is how we're like figuring this out. He's a very famous actor. He dyed his hair blonde for the role.
Oh.
I can envision him, but I cannot think of his name. Ryan Gosling.
Oh my God. Yeah, and his wife. That's his wife in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called The Florida Project or...
No. I know it's not called that. When you say it, I'm going to know it.
Yeah, but I know exactly the movie you're talking about.
The Place Beyond the Pines.
The Place Beyond the Pines. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the movie.
It's Ava Mendes or Ava something.
Cast. Let's look at the cast.
Because they're married in real life.
Mendes.
They met on this is what started their relationship was this movie. And like they got married.
That's why he likes it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a different movie that she was also in. Very similar premise, but it was made in like 2019 or 2018. But no. That movie's like, yeah, that's like one of the most like both of their like most critically acclaimed movie that they've ever been in.
Yeah, he's obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Probably one of his favorite movies. I would say that I like. That's all he ever talks about.
Mm-hmm. Place Beyond the Pines. Duh.
It was cool. Like that's how I felt about.
That's the movie I thought you were talking about from the jump when you said motorcycle and like dad. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. But then I was like, I could not remember the name of it.
Yeah, me either.
The guy with the blonde hair. We literally just talked about the Barbie movie.
I know, that's what sparked it in my
brain. He dyed his
brain.
hair blonde. He has blonde hair, but
that's
you meant like he bleached it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he just answer me? What a dickhead. What a dickhead. I literally just said JK disregard and he answered. What a dickhead. Oh my God, that's how that would work. I knew it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Movies are not my thing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But the whole point of that, me saying this, I think, if we take it back, is... Fuck, I just forgot my train of thought. Because I was like, I remember we started talking about like this, because like the whole music thing.
Yeah,
like, I was like,
yeah.
It's just noise to me. Like having TV on is just like noise to me. And it's not really like for me to pay attention or like a distraction or anything like that, or like to be deep in thought. Like I've always used like music or TV or even YouTube or anything like that as just like la 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 time. Like it's just like I don't have to think. I don't want to have to be like that's why I enjoy like trash reality TV, because there's zero thinking.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to think about anything. It's not deep. It's nothing. And I think that that's why I enjoy it most, because like that is my time of like such leisure in my brain that like I think that's almost why I don't enjoy movies, because I have to like think and pay attention.
Yeah.
And it's like it's very methodically done.
Yeah. Well, it's because also in your head, like, did you not really grow up watching TV or anything?
No, we did, but again, it wasn't anything like.
Yeah. I think there's like a definitely like association that people have with television where it's like this is my like chill time. This is like whatever. And that's probably the association that you have with it, which makes sense because like that's probably just what you've always done. But for me, like TV was like, I feel like this is the most American thing to say ever, but like I feel like is what raised me. Not that like I was like an iPad baby or like a TV baby and like my mom didn't play with me or whatever, but like it was such a huge part of entertainment at my house. Like I remember like growing up, we had like this giant TV in our basement, and like my brother, like literally some of the earliest memories I have was like my brother showing me and my younger brother like movies that he was obsessed with, and like cranking up like the sound in the subwoofers and shit, and like that feeling of like being in a movie theater but you're at home. And like so that entertainment aspect of it was like my whole life was huge. And it wasn't my parents, because like I think they're a bit indifferent, like I said, about movies. Like I think they really want to be movie people because like we have like a home theater type thing that doesn't really get used. But I think my dad likes the sounds. Like he loves the surround sound moment. He loves that. But like I just don't think he really likes movies so much.
But that's where I feel like I'm at too. Like I like the noise.
Yeah.
I like to like have something on. But I don't like, even so, like when I've been painting my house of like my ceiling and the 17 other things I've been doing, like I just put it on.
Yeah.
I'm not like, it's just I hear it, and I could, not that I could probably tell you everything that's going on, but like I know enough to like, if I did sit down and watch it while I'm eating food, like I wouldn't be out of like whatever. But it's just on, and like I'm in a different room painting. Yeah. Like that's just how I use it. I just use it for noise, and I feel like that's like, and so it's not that I can't appreciate it, but in my brain it's always been such leisure, because like to my first memories, as you were saying this, is like me and my sister in the basement pretending we're like, it was always like active things. Like me and my sister were like riding bikes together, or like playing with the neighborhood kids, or jumping on the trampoline, or like us in the basement pretending that we were like in the Olympics, and we set up like a whole course in the basement of like whatever, like little scooter things, and like we did those things. Like when we were watching
the best Olympic sport, scootering.
Literally, like we would like joust outside with my dad's like laundry sticks, and like those are like the things I remember like as a kid, or like playing games, like board games or whatever. And then like if we were watching TV, it was like wind down and go to bed. And if we were like sitting there doing nothing, it was either like an extremely lazy day and like it was rainy outside and you're sick, but it was always for rest. Yeah. It was like we were always supposed to be like active. Yeah. So
we definitely did all the like playing and whatever, but also the way I played growing up, which is I think why I am the way I am today, it was very like scenario driven. Like your character, like when we were playing pretend, it was like you were taking on a persona. These are all the background and characteristics. This is your extended family. Like memorize it. And like it was almost like acting. Like the pretend was so like immersive and insane, because I think my older brother was like so much older that he was like, well, if I'm gonna play with you guys, like I want to do stuff that like I want to do. And so like I grew up with almost like creating movies without cameras. And so I think that's also like my imagination and like the creative process for me when I associate like playing. Like even when I play with my nieces, it's like they just kind of want to sit there and just be like dart, 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 and I'm like we're like having like whole ass scenarios of like whatever, and like it's fun, but it's like very different opposed to like I feel like how a lot of people grew up playing. And I think that's why I love movies so much, because every time we played pretend, it was like starting this huge elaborate thing, putting a pause on it, and then the next day we'd like pick up where we left off and
so
like continue the storyline and like add new characters and like develop, like it was like you had character development in your fucking playing pretend or whatever. It was just like so that's intricate.
It's interesting though actually that like if we think about how far back like just our childhoods were, like allows you like, because it's so intricate and like very like plot driven, so like for you to like sit down and like appreciate shows and movies makes so much sense,
literally. Because and like your play was just like physical or like
running around, jumping on a trampoline.
When it was over, it was over.
Yeah.
And like the next day we'd pick up and we'd play the same type of game, but it wasn't like continuation of like a plot.
Right. No, not at all. And like sometimes if we would try to replay it, we'd be like, that's boring now. Yeah. And like move on. Like it was type of thing.
That's so weird.
Like if you think about how like that's kind of like crazy.
Yeah. Your childhood really shapes everything.
Really,
like,
it does.
So insane.
Really, it does, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and then even for you, like, your brother having an appreciation for movies where, like, my sister didn't, like, my sister, like, likes movies and stuff now, but, like, and, like, her and her husband will definitely, like, go to the movies and, like, watch stuff, and, like, but she has grown this appreciation through him.
Right.
Not because it was, like, something of our childhood. Because, like, I also know, like, even, like, the way that she, like, listens to music now is fully him. Because, like, just the way he was raised was so, like, music. His family is very musically driven and like very artistic,
which is probably why I am also the way I am, because like that's how my family is too,
right? And like that's how he is, and like we just weren't, and so like I've gotten some appreciation of that from them, but it's still, I just wasn't raised like that. So like
that's so weird.
And like Kern's very, very active and very like, she also has to be like, they always go for walks, and like those are like her thing. Like we would always go on walks, be outside, like do all, not that you don't, but like it's just, it's funny to like think about that now. Yeah, that is actually
so funny, because me and my parents have very different tastes in music, but there is a lot of overlapping now that I'm older, especially because I'm like, a lot of the music that I kind of like turned my nose up at when I was younger was more of just like rebellious, because it was like, well, you guys like this, so I don't want to like it.
Right.
So there's a lot of similarities, but it makes so much sense, because it's like my dad literally was like in band culture or whatever, like grew up touring with bands and whatever. So it makes sense. Music was always on in my house. My whole life still is. Every time I go home, it's like, do you want me to turn music on? And then my mom was like in choir, very musical, play the piano. Like she has like an insane voice and has perfect pitch, and is like always sang my whole life. So it's like, it makes sense why I always have to have music on, and like I'm always listening to music, versus like you were saying, you're like, that wasn't huge at my house.
Yeah.
Weird. I like that our childhood, you know, like influences us as adults. I don't like how much it does though, because now it's like, it makes sense, not to be like full circle with this, but like some people are really fucked up and like live fucked up lives and do fucked up shit. And you're like, how could you ever do this? And it's like, God, what happened to them as kids?
Right. But like, but also I think that's like the crazy part about being an adult is like,
we're all just grown up kids.
No, truly. And like we're all just trying to figure out for the first time. Like honestly, like you can have people that you look up to and like learn and know right from wrong, but like everyone's experiencing this for the first time, and like we don't give ourselves enough credit for that. But like a big thing for people who have like really fucked up childhoods is like, do they know that it was right or wrong, and then are they willing to do better or not? I wouldn't say no right or wrong kind of thing. Like I think that that's the difference, but like still, like it's still so influential in your life whether you want it to be or not. Because like I don't purposely not want to like movies.
It's not like your quirky trait that you're like, I hate them.
No, it's like, because like I like, even so, like I want to see the Priscilla movie so bad, but I will never sit down and watch it. Like I know I just won't. And like I keep telling him that I want to, so like that's the only reason I might. Is because he knows I want to, so when it comes on a streaming platform, he will put it on, and then I will watch it, but I will never sit down to watch it. And that's like, again, not because I don't want to, it's just like not in my nature. Legit. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. It's wild to like,
wow, who needs therapy when you can just grab a podcast mic, catch up with your friend you haven't talked to in a while, and just riff on childhoods.
That's it.
I feel healed. I feel healed. I don't even need to call my therapist anymore. I'm good.
I'm still gonna keep the appointment for 9 a.m. but definitely feel better about it.
Now I know I don't really like music or movies.
I mean, epiphanies are great.
Well, they really are.
And I want to know if our listeners, do you like them or no? Like, what do you?
And then also, if you don't, and you realize like your family didn't, or is it the opposite? Maybe it's like you listen to so much fucking music as a kid, you're like, I can't stand it anymore.
Right.
Or
is it the opposite, where like you didn't grow up in a music like driven family, but it was like that was your escape from life. So I feel like it could go either way. Like you love movies or something because you like were always in your room and like you had nothing else to do, so like you watched them all the time, and like that was your escape. I don't know. I just feel like there's like so many correlations for all of that.
Oh my God. I just had this insane memory of like a show I watched and then a toy from it, and like we could talk about this in a different episode, but like, wow, just us talking about this unlocked something I forgot existed.
Right.
Crazy.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Call your therapist. Or just listen to another episode of our shit.
Because we'll see you guys next week. But thank you guys for listening to another episode of Society 97. My name... Oh, goddamn. Sorry, this has been my life the past week. Start over. But thank you guys for listening to another episode of Society 97. My name is Kellen. You can find me at Kellen on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
And I'm Emily Starnes. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Starnesy. Don't forget to follow the podcast on Instagram. We are at Society97.pod, where we post clips from the show. And we're also on TikTok at Society97pod, no dot, where we post clips from the show too.
And we have our YouTube channel where we post fun videos every single Tuesday and the video version of the podcast every single Friday. So go over there, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and see our beautiful faces.
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.